Hi and welcome back to It's a Miracle Beauty. Today I'm doing a foundation review on the Clinique Beyond Perfecting. This is a concealer and foundation in one. I am in the shade Breeze. This is not a first impression. This is just a wear test. I have worn this quite a few times in the past. I did get this in my Ulta diamond gift, and I just really love the fact that it gives a really healthy, natural look. It looks like skin, doesn't look like foundation. Like, it's just something that I really like about it. However, I never wore this on days like that I worked both shifts, so I never wore it for 12-16 hours. I always wore it on Saturdays and Sundays. So I want to give it a full wear test. I finish my makeup sometimes right around 11, so I'm going to use 11 as my marker for, even though my foundation itself probably was done a little bit beforehand, I'm going to use 11 as my marker, and I'm going to see how far I can go in the day. If it begins to break down, if it begins to show smile lines, it begins to do other things, if I'm not going anywhere, I'm not worried about it. But if I am going anywhere, I will be washing my face and doing something else. So if you like foundation reviews, if you like eyeshadow reviews, or unboxings, mystery boxes, I have a couple good mystery boxes coming your way. I hope that you'll subscribe, ring the bell so you don't miss any of those mystery boxes, and like this video and share it with anybody you think will like it, and let's get into it. So I just want to show these earrings. Dede Decor Beauty sent me these, and we traded some things, and she included these as a gift. They are absolutely adorable. They're little coins. She had done an unboxing from, I believe it was Walmart. She does unboxings and she does tutorials and stuff, so I really recommend checking her out. But she sent me these as a gift after I commented on that unboxing that her coin jewelry she found were just adorable. It was really cute. So she actually sent me a pair. So I just want to give a shout out to Dede and say thank you because I appreciate them. So let's get into it. I am reviewing the Natasha Denona palette in another video. This is the Metropolis palette. So that is this look so far. And then for this video, I wanted to review, actually, it's two products. One I have used a ton and one I have not. I want to show you how the one I've used a ton works and how it looks when it's finished. And then I wanted to experiment with the one I haven't. So the one I have not used a ton is the Tatcha. This is the liquid silk canvas. So I love the regular silk canvas, so I do want to use that. And then the one I actually got this as my Ulta diamond gift. They give you a couple different options. This is the Clinique Beyond Perfecting Foundation and Concealer. I do not use this as concealer, but it is a beautiful foundation. So let me prime really quick with the Tatcha. This feels, once it's in your skin, it feels remarkably like the regular silk canvas. I've only used this, I think, once or twice before this, but I've been wanting to use it more, but I kept doing matte foundation, so I had to use a glowy primer versus one that kind of smooths everything. When that kind of sits in and gets into my skin, I am going to color correct a little bit. I am using a full coverage concealer today, so I don't need a lot, but especially with the blue and my lack of sleep, I need just a little pick-me-up. I don't worry about the creases under my eyes much because I have creases no matter what foundation, no matter what concealer, no matter what powder I use, and no powder with powder doesn't matter. So I don't worry about that. So let me see, it should be, yeah, it's in good. Okay, so next, the one thing that is a negative about this foundation is it is a doe foot. So it has one of the huge doe foot. So I don't prefer that style of foundation application. First of all, I mean, there's the whole thing with like bacteria can get back at the bottle, but also I just don't find it's actually very convenient. I think that it's a pain in the butt to use this. So I know some people love them, but I do not. This is in the shade Breeze, I believe. Yep, AC8CN02 Breeze. So this one actually has pretty close color match for me. I don't have to struggle with it very much. Now, this area you'll see it is just pulling up a little bit. So I am just going to add a little bit more to my cheeks where I have the issue. That's me. And it does look really white in the monitor, but it's like almost an exact skin tone match in real life. A lot of YouTubers actually use a shade or two darker when they do their makeup on camera because the studio lights wash it out. But I want to wear this in real life. I don't want to have to worry about that shade difference. And I don't self-tan or anything, so that can become an issue. So I use my real shade, even though I realize for you it may look fair. I wear my looks all day typically. Try to do wear tests, things like that, so I can't have a shade that has a line. Okay, I am gonna spray some setting spray and just kind of work this in a little bit better because it is a fast drying foundation. I just want to make sure that I don't have any areas that aren't blended well, and so I like to do that with my foundation. I'm not a super heavy mist. It's a very fine mister. It's the Smashbox Primer Water, and that's exactly what it needed. It's more skin-like now. Just needed a little bit of smoothing because it was looking very mask-like. So next, let's do concealer. I do want to be careful with the concealer. I want to go up to the blue but not touch the blue. This is a concealer that you don't need a ton of. It's very full coverage and it goes a long way. So I actually wipe everything off my brush and then I just tap the remnants on. So I do more than one spot, but they're not got a lot of concealer on them because this is very full coverage. This is the Dose of Colors. It's very full coverage and it works fantastic. See, with using less, it blends out a lot faster too. I'm not working product in forever. And that's one thing, by using this product a lot, I learned. When I first started using it, I would end up too much and then my eyes would look ridiculous and I couldn't figure out why. And then I started using less and less and less, and it's amazing how little you really need of that concealer because it is a very powerful and a very pigmented concealer. It does a great job. I also don't, with this concealer, typically go over my nose every single time. If my foundation looks like it's doing a good job, I don't worry about it. And this one, it's not perfect, but it definitely looks like it's doing okay. I think just going over it with my sponge will do enough. Next, I'm going to powder. I am going to mix the Laura Mercier, just her normal setting powder. And then what I do is I mix a little bit of the Jaclyn Hill. This one is the Brighten Up. This is the Luminous powder. It does look like this. So this one, it has like a little bit, it's shimmery, but it's almost like a loose hourglass powder is almost what it reminds me of. So I just mix that in to kind of give a little bit of dimension and kind of make it not be so washed out. Where is my brush? And again, I said this in another video, whenever I'm worried about a foundation shifting or I'm not sure if it's going to stay, I actually don't use my sponge to put it on. Or in this case, I know I'm going to be filming another video and I want to use that sponge because I really like it. So I don't want powder within it because that will mess with the foundation application. So I am using a brush and I am just lightly tapping this on. I don't want a ton of powder. I want it to be really light and just set the makeup. This is a Sonia Kashuk brush. I think it's actually like a pointed blush brush, but I just got this and I am addicted. Like, I want to go back and get more because it works so good. That's the only one I've been using lately. I want to pay special attention to those smile lines. Sorry I'm playing with my hair so much today. It's aggravating the heck out of me. But I straightened it yesterday, so I don't want to mess it up. So it's kind of a conundrum. It doesn't look perfect after I sleep on it, but it's definitely a lot better than just air dry. So I try to use heat on my hair as little as possible. Again, I'm just going over with the more dense powder brush, kind of getting the extra out so my face isn't powdery. I'll link it up in the cards. I did a Kat Von D mystery box unboxing and I did receive a Shade and Light palette in it. I did used to own this and I actually thought I didn't want it, got rid of it, and now ever since I've regretted it. So I was really excited to get that palette in that mystery bag. This is another one that's very pigmented. You just a little bit at a time will get your contour looking really good. You don't need a lot of it because it's so pigmented. but it is perfect. Like I refer to it as the cool girl's dream because I am very cool toned, and this and the Smashbox contour are pretty much the only ones I can use as contour and have it really truly be a contour. I do use bronzer typically with it, but it's amazing how these are cool toned to the point that it really gives a, you know, illusion of the cheek divot. It's really awesome. I do naturally have high cheekbones. I don't need a ton. I'm left-handed, so I feel like my left side always has more blend than my right side. Not sure it's true, but that's how it always feels. Next, I'm going to use bronzer. So for bronzer, I'm going to use the Pure. This is the Bronzing Act. So I have another one of that same brush. I actually have, this is the NYX 02. These are my favorite for contour and bronzer. This is one that you can use heavy or you can use as light as you wish. It's all in how heavy you do your brush and how heavy you are in the product. But it looks amazing pretty much every time I use it. I really enjoy it. Helps me get just a little bit of color because I do typically, I can tan, and I actually tan relatively well, usually because I do use sunblock. It just slowly browns my skin and I get a nice golden tan. However, I don't go in the sun a ton because of lupus. I actually have reactions to the sun, so it's been a long time since I had a true tan. Next, I'm going to do blush. This is the Blush and Glow by Natasha Denona. So this is actually similar to the big one that she has. This is a mini version. So I'm only going to use the blush side today. Kind of wanted a real pinky blush. I think pink and blue go really well together. I think they look cute together. So whenever I do a blue look, I do try to use like a true pink blush. I just think it's one of those that they counteract or they contrast really pretty. And if you look at that, that's from the blush. I haven't used any highlighter yet. My baby hairs have a life of their own. Like, they're like everywhere. So that was a Natasha Blush and Glow. For highlighter, I'm going to use the Ofra. This is the old packaging, but this is the Star Island. Just look like this. One of the funniest things to me is that I've used this. I mean, you can see use, but I've used this a lot, and you cannot tell that much yet. So it's funny how long it takes to use one of these. Last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of Hourglass. This is the Ambient Lighting palette. It is a finishing powder, and I'm literally just going to go lightly over my entire face and just kind of make sure everything is blended together. And I'm using the two lightest shades. Okay, that is my face makeup. I'm going to go finish my eyes and my lips, and then I will come back and give you my final thoughts. As of this application, I am going to do a wear test again. I'm going to wear it all day. It is right now 10:48, and so I think that if I can get to 8, 9 o'clock, I'll be happy because I have worn this before. It's not a first impression, but I would like to see with the Tatcha Silk Canvas how it works. So I will be back once I complete my makeup, and I'll give you my final thoughts. So this is my finished look with my makeup and everything else. This is the Natasha Denona Metropolis palette. I am working on a review for that. So I did go for extra glowy. I used my Hourglass. I used my Natasha Denona Blush and Glow. I wanted a healthy glowy look, and this foundation is healthy and it does look like skin. However, it's not a super glowy foundation. It just looks natural. I would call it on its own with no helpers a natural finish. Depending on the powder you use or the blushes and stuff, you can make it more glowy. I like it glowy. I like the way it looks. I think it looks like skin. So as I said, I'm going to try to get this as far as I can. I'm hoping to get this, like if I finished at 11, I'm hoping to get this at minimum 8 or 9 o'clock, see how far it will go, and just see what it does. So I've only worn this for about 6 hours at a time, so now I want to see how it lasts all the way through the day without, touching up or anything else. I may touch up my smile lines because I don't believe that is if out of any foundation. I do have very deep set smile lines. I mean, I'm not complaining. It means I laughed a lot in my life. But I do think it's not fair to test a foundation and not touch them up if it's a genetic thing or a thing that's natural to me and not the foundation's fault. So I probably will touch those up. I will not be touching anything else up, but let's see how it goes, and I will check in at the end of the night. It is 8:36. I have taken a nap. I've ate a good dinner. I mean, a great dinner, the best Mexican in Michigan. Let's talk about what's left. So, stereotypical. my nose looks pretty bad. And I do have my main light turned down, my ring light, but my 2 box lights are not, because there's no light out here. There's not like an overhead light I can turn on. I also want to note that the neighborhood is alive and well because it's the first non-humid day we've had since the warm weather hit. So everyone's out enjoying the weather. So you may hear some noise. I will try to edit it out as best I can, but you may hear some things. So let's talk about this foundation. My nose looks classic always. So we're looking at 9.5, probably really close to 10 since the foundation actually went on, because I did kind of take my time and do my makeup. Or let's just, even if we went with 9.5, like if you look, my smile lines do not look bad at all for being 9-10 hours. I mean, I think they look fantastic. Let me get my hair out of the way here. I think that I'm not seeing really any wear marks anywhere else. Maybe right here there's a little bit of foundation, but again, I took a nap and I typically sleep like a little kid with my hands on my face. So that's probably really more of what that is right there. In fact, I still am a little red from waking up from it. I don't see really anything horrible with this. I think that this foundation wore really well. I think that Clinique has quite a few different foundations, and if you can find one that works for you, I mean, they have ones that are friendly for acne prone skin. They have ones that are for dry skin. In fact, I love their Refresh that is the glowy version. That one is one I also will be doing a video on. I just really love the way that one looks. I have never done a wear test on that one, so that's one of the ones I'm curious about, because that's my prone to work more than one job and working for 12 to 16 hours a day, at least multiple times per week, made me want to do this series, want to test for 8, 10, 12, 14 hours and see which foundations held the test of time and did they wear away gracefully. If you're working till 10 o'clock at night, are you going to have all kinds of missing foundation in places that wears away gently? It's not so noticeable. Are you going to have this? I mean, at 10, 12 hours, I'm really not complaining, but that does look really bad. So if that happened, let's say at 6, that would not be pretty. So that is my foundation review and wear test for the Clinique Even Better. I think that I give it a pretty high rating because I think that, especially for the fact that I didn't use any super sticky primers. I didn't use anything. In fact, I tried a new primer. I mean, I tried New to Me. I've only used that, I don't know the exact number of times, and that was the Tatcha Silk Canvas cream. I used the actual like potted version more only because that's older and I want to use it up, and it is just that $20 trial size, which, by the way, the $20 one is that big, literally. If you like foundation and eyeshadow reviews, I hope that you will like, share, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications, and I hope I see you again soon.